So, glowing up as we age. This is a topic that I think resonates with everybody who's my age and older, and even younger. You'll find that sometimes when I meet up with people and I tell them, oh, this is my age, oh, I have a 22-year-old child and I have a 19-year-old child, they look at me with a very strange expression of disbelief. But the truth is that I have embraced my age. I have embraced the fact that I am growing and I'm becoming softer around the edges, even softer in my thoughts, in my words, and even in the way I interact with people. And also, I have picked up a lot of experience that has allowed me to understand that it's not that deep, it's not so important. You don't have to lose yourself and have such huge fights over nothing. You pick the fights that you want to pick that are important and then leave the rest. You don't have to have that argument. You don't have to meet that person and assure them. You do not have to go to war with people. Give yourself the grace to let things go. And I have decided to share like my ideas on glowing up as we age, or softening as we age. And some of the things, I wrote them down so that I don't forget, that I feel are the things that we need to avoid so that we age gracefully and then we keep glowing and we keep happy and we keep that inner joy coming up. Number one that we should avoid: constantly criticizing others or criticizing ourselves. It starts with us. When you over criticize yourself, that means that you're always going to be very critical of the others. But then that means that you fail to see the beauty in you. You fail to see the good things about you because you're focusing on the criticism. And if you're criticizing yourself, that means you're going to criticize others even more. And that means that people are going to avoid you, and you're always going to be that person that when you get to a place and then, or you're not being invited to parties anymore, you're not being invited to things anymore because people, or being invited to conversations because people think that every time you get there you're going to see the negative without seeing the positives. Somebody has worked so hard to put together an event or a party, and then for you see, oh, the tablecloths are not matching, or the whatever is not great, or you look at your face and you're like, I have such wrinkles, I don't know, I don't look good, that kind of thing, without seeing the whole picture. Over criticism is something that we should avoid for ourselves and for other people. Trying so hard to look youthful. Looking youthful is great, but then trying so hard and putting on the clothes of your 20-year-old daughters and trying to fashion yourself in that way, and without realizing that actually you could fashion yourself in a nice way for your age and look good without having to really look like you're trying too hard to look young, because then that kind of can come off in a different way and it just looks tacky. We avoid that. Carrying bitterness over things that happened so many years ago or so many months ago, and then continuing to hold on to that and talk about it all the time. It's kind of unbecoming, and it also writes itself on your face. Let us try to, sometimes when we meditate, we kind of get rid of that. Or when you go to pray, you pray to God and say, God, I forgive this person, I forgive the other person, and then you let go. When you carry bitterness for a very long time, it starts to show on your face. There'll be lines here that are showing that you're really unhappy and you're carrying bitterness with you. It's very heavy and it just weighs your body down. There's also something that we are all very guilty of: overworking and underresting. Working is great, and working is the reason why we survive, and working is how we make a living. I like to work. And before, in my 20s, in my 30s, I used to work so hard. I'd work through the night. I'd be available for phone calls anytime. And even when I'm setting up my business, I have found that sometimes I overwork because I am trying to make sure that I feel, I am able to answer the questions that are being asked by the customers, by the agents, and also by my suppliers, and trying to figure out the accounts, all that detail. Sometimes you end up working long hours and not giving yourself a chance to rest. And when you don't rest, it kind of writes itself on the face. It's very clear that you've not rested. And if you do it over time, sometimes you can have a one-off, but if you do it all the time, it starts to reflect on your face that you've not been resting, and you tend to look older than you really are. I'm learning to give myself some time to rest. Sometimes I will really work, like crazy, but then there are days when I'll give myself the grace to actually rest, get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and then I'll wake up feeling fresh, and it will show on the face. And on those days when I've rested enough is when I do videos. On the days when I'm not rested early, I'll be like, no, this does not look good. But nevertheless, I don't want that lack of rest to keep showing on my face all the time. And then there's also styling yourself. For as you're growing older, there's ways in which you can style yourself to look and feel good. For example, I chose the dreadlocks, and I always choose my gold, necklace. And I always choose clothes that, this doesn't show very well, but I always choose clothes that cinch my waist a little bit and give me a look of being well put together. So that being well put together actually helps you to look good and glow up as you grow older. If you decide to wear only frumpy clothes, it's a big dress that goes all the way down. It doesn't show off, your calves. It does not show off your arms, your waist, your nyash, for example. You take yourself down and you look more frumpy, and then you look older than you really are. Unless we are doing that for particular events, for example, you're going to the in-laws in our culture, or you're going to church, or you're going to traditional events, then of course you have to put on that big dress and be very, 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 very modest. But you can be modest without necessarily being frumpy. You have to choose. And then styling your hair in a way that makes you look good without necessarily making you look frumpy or making you look like you're trying so hard. There's also carrying resentment. Try not to carry resentment. Okay, somebody angered you, or somebody has got something that you probably would want. For example, somebody gets a beautiful job and a beautiful assignment somewhere, or they get to travel, and then because you're not able to do that, you get very angry, and then you resent them for the beautiful things that they're getting. Be happy for them. Be happy for your friends when they get great things, even if you've not gotten them, because there's a lot of other things that you can get in life, and you don't have to want exactly what your friend has. Yeah, resentment is something that we can work on to avoid, and to continue to be happy for our friends when they win, or when their children win, or when our friends get great opportunities, or when their children get great opportunities, because the positivity you put out in the world is what you actually get for yourself. Because today is your friend, tomorrow it could be you. Be able to celebrate your friends when they get great things. Number three, but part of the list is avoiding joy because you think it's silly. Try not to avoid joy because it's silly. If you feel like something is really making you happy and you want to jump for joy, jump around, do it. Because your joy is your joy. And the moment you miss that moment, you've missed the moment. You cannot say, oh, I can't laugh, I can't dance, I can't go and hang with my friends and really, really be myself because I will look silly because I'm old. And now, because I'm older, I should not really dance or jump for joy or giggle for joy or do silly things because I'm happy. No. Get silly, do silly, and that will actually make your heart lighter. And when your heart is lighter, your body is lighter and your face is lighter. And even when I go for these dance classes, some of the moves are really, really like, oh my God, I can't do this. But you try it, you feel silly, you have a good laugh about it, and then you continue. And then the next time you're like, that's not a big deal. Let's try to not draw barriers for ourselves just because we are older. And then try to avoid frowning. Don't frown all the time. Frown only when you need to. And then keep the rest of the day open. Keep your face open when you're talking to people. When you're frowning, people will avoid you. People will be afraid to talk to you. But also, the frown lines will remain in your face. So yeah, smile more and frown less. That will help. And keep company of happy people. I have seen that when I'm in company of happy people, it's very difficult to remain angry or pissed off because people will be giggling about all sorts of things. At some point, you'll be like, why are they giggling? What's so funny? And then before you know it, you're also giggling along, and that will spread to yourself and to the people around you. Keep company of happy people. and try to not spend so much time with people who are bitter, resentful, and angry, and all that, because then it will rub off on you. It always does. And then also always remember that the best years are not behind you, but the best years are ahead of you. I feel that where I am right now, there's so much more that's going to happen in my life, in your life, and the best years are ahead. For example, maybe we have you can, even create like a bucket list of every period, every 6 months or every 3 months or every 1 year, create a bucket list of things that you want to do, that you feel would make your life exciting, and then try those and then tick them off as you smile. Let's always remember that even if we are in our 40s, we are just beginning. 40 is the beginning of life. So the best years are ahead of us, but it depends on how we embrace that situation. Continue to subscribe to Unsweet 40. I really look forward to sharing some insights with you, and soon I'll be sharing a video of an event I went to, and it was so exciting, fireworks, whatever, and I was hanging out with my friends. Yeah, let's keep sharing. I want to share my energy with you so that you can pick a little bit here and there, and go into your 40s with happiness and joy. Have a good day.